American half pound of 2 pure beef patties, lettuce, tomato.
Singles going steady.
This is Singles Going Steady, the podcast dedicated to exploring great singles with a particular eye to the punk, new wave, and DIY eras of the last century. I'm Adrienne Meddock.
And I'm Steve McGowan. We're in a band, the Beef People. We released a single in 1986 on our own label, Zub Records. And we are record collectors and passionate, especially about the expression of pop music perfection that is the single recording. Exploring the mystery of what makes for a great single is what propelled us to begin this podcast.
And what episode are we on today?
Today we are doing episode 064.
064.
And we're going to be talking about a band that's been around for a while that is putting out some great new music. The band is called The Figs.
The Figs. And what's the name of the single?
The single is called Grab Your Pack.
And this is an interesting single, and interesting for a couple reasons. For one thing, we're recording this at a time where this single is not available in vinyl form yet.
Right.
It will be part of a triple album, Shady Grove, is that right?
That's correct.
That will be forthcoming and maybe in your record stores and homes by the time you hear this podcast. But at this time, you, as part of their crowdfunding to raise money behind this triple album release, I mean, you got to love that. I mean,
yes.
It's 2019 and they're doing a triple album.
Son of Sandinista.
The audacity. It's just beautiful.
I love it.
I love it. They talk confidence. And if ever a band should have confidence, it's the Figs. Because they are absolutely gold.
Yep.
We keep saying the real deal. But they absolutely are.
Yeah.
And this single, if we call it that, is unique because it's available now as a video. It will be available, as part of the crowdfunding. I think they plan on releasing it as a download before the vinyl comes out, as a single. Right. So that seemed reason enough to celebrate it early and talk about, since we like singles in all their forms, that this is a 2019 form of a single.
Right, and we'll link to the video at least if there isn't a link to the download by the time this airs. The Figs.
What a band.
From 1987, they were formed in Saratoga Springs, New York, upstate New York, home of
the Adirondack Chair.
That's right. And
that will not be a recommendation. It's sitting in an Adirondack Chair.
Listening to the Figs.
Listening to the Figs is definitely a recommendation,
yes.
But sitting in the Adirondack Chair, I'm not sure I can recommend.
So this is a band that's been active since 1987. As the bassist Pete Donnelly said, we've been a band since Thatcher was in office.
Right. Thatcher was prime minister, right?
Even though they're American. They've been through a lot of changes. They started kind of punky, kind of pop punky.
They were a quartet at one point, right? Now they're playing out as a trio.
Yeah, the trio that we're so fond of. They were on Imago Records for a while, and the one record, Lo-Fi at Society High, came out on... No, Banda Macho came out on Capitol.
And I remember Lo-Fi was... I played that when I was at WXDU. No, early 90s, mid-90s.
And they went through kind of a replacement-y kind of pop-punk phase. They've always had great songwriting.
Yeah, the songs are stellar.
Yes.
And songwriting duties shared.
Right, between the bass player Pete Donnelly and the guitarist and singer Mike Gent. And I believe the drummer Pete Hayes actually has some input into some of the songs as well.
Right.
So it's a great sort of a democratic band. when they were on Capitol, where they weren't getting really any interest, they were hooked up with one Graham Parker. And there was a time there where the Figs were actually Graham Parker's backup band when he was touring here in America. And they did that for like a year or so. And really a good match.
Yeah, there's something about pub rock about the Figs.
Yes. I think we'll talk about that after we listen to the single. So they put out 13 records as far as we can count. They're all pretty good. Some of my favorites are a record called Palais, which is a double. There was an EP called the Badger EP, which has now been re-released as an LP form. That's an excellent record. And there's one called Sucking in Stereo, where they were kind of going through a later Rolling Stones, like Some Girls kind of Rolling Stones phase, which was very, very good. Very good. But let's listen to the single. The new record's going to be called Shady Grove. It's going to be a triple vinyl.
Triple vinyl.
I love that.
It's 2019.
It's great. The song's called Grab Your Pack. It's the Figs from New York. Here we go. right, that was the Figs and grab your pack. As Adrienne was saying, there is definitely, I think, the new Figs have a kind of a pub rock sound. It's kind of an R&B.
R&B inflected.
Right.
No keys.
Right. No metal kind of sort of thing.
Right.
It's singing is very strong. Both of them sing lead on this, and there's a lot of cool backup, kind of R&B
Melody
backup.
and harmonies count.
Very economical guitar. It's not flashy. Again, not a lot of doodly-doo. Keep it to the point. Donnelly's a great bass player. He holds that down. Great
He's very
drummer.
tasteful.
It's elemental without being simplistic.
Right. It's
And-
essential.
Yes.
Essential is how I would describe
Right.
it. I mean that there's nothing there that doesn't belong, and there's nothing missing.
Right. It's just a great kind of reductive sort of sound.
Without being thin.
Yes.
I mean, it's full and full throated.
And the lyrics are a little bleak. Everybody panic. There's trouble everywhere. Kind of a good note for 2019. Without being, it's not overtly
Hopeless
political or anything like
right.
that. It's very personal. It's a great song. It really is. And again, it reminds me of the best of the sort of pub rock sort of thing.
Right.
We had talked about what we thought the Figs sounded like. You and I both got to see them twice
Right.
recently here in North
As a
Carolina.
three-piece.
Yes. And they were just amazing both nights.
Yeah, and it was different. It wasn't
Right. They
yeah.
played different songs, as a band with 13 records can, and a
Right,
lot of
but-
new songs.
And they love doing what they do. I mean, it was.
Yes.
I think they outlasted the first night at the cave. They outlasted the audience.
Yeah,
I
they did.
think.
They did. They kept playing, and everybody was ready to go.
You're great, but
Yeah.
I gotta go home.
Yeah. But we were comparing them a little bit to our friends from Boston in the Neighborhoods.
Yeah, in that that
Super tight band.
super tight
Three-piece.
and the songs at the center.
Right.
That it's really not about posturing.
Right.
That everything is in service of the group's ethos.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound
where
too
but where they differentiate is the Neighborhoods definitely have a more rock,
Right, there's a little more metal edge,
Yes.
a little more
of that Aerosmith kind
adjacent
of thing. Yeah.
Boston,
Where,
Dirty Water.
Where the Figs are definitely more R&B and pub rock,
Right.
and but they both write great songs. They both have
Yes.
great guitarists and great bass players and great drummers and singers. So there's a lot,
Correct.
a lot of similarities between the two bands, and that would be a great bill to see too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So they're doing this triple record. It's quite a thing.
Chutzpah,
Yeah, I know.
right?
I know. What other songs did we see them do? They did "Hang Fire" by the Stones. The
Right.
second night we saw them. They did that amazing Arthur Alexander cover.
Right.
The Girl That Radiates Charm. Which
Yeah, it was
you
great because
never
they were
hear
like, it's
anyone
not
do.
Anna and
Right. And it wasn't. And it sounded like Costello to me, like Costello's take
yeah.
on it.
And that
And that's
was
high praise.
That was my original impression back
Yeah.
in the Lafayette Society High days.
They had some of that in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
pub
it makes
rock.
sense with the with the Graham Parker
Sure.
that there's some shared DNA,
Right.
commonalities,
And
influences.
we should mention that there is a pretty lengthy review of the two shows that we saw on our website, on the Zub Records site. We will provide a link to that,
Right.
So we don't have to go over everything about what we saw. We wrote quite a bit about
Right.
it, and what songs were played, and what a good time we had, and all the cool equipment they have.
But to see, I've seen other bands back to back, but
Yes.
this was. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. They did 29 songs the first night and 34 the second.
Isn't that amazing?
And about
I
half
mean,
of them were different.
Right. So they are true believers,
Yeah.
and they absolutely deliver the goods.
Yes.
How's
yes.
that for a bunch of cliches?
That's clichéful. We love the Figs.
Yes.
It's good music. I had written that, sometimes you see a band, and if there's not a big crowd, you say, oh, well, people should be, the Figs don't need it. They're going to do their thing, man. They've been doing it for 30 years. If you want to get on the train, you're going to be better for it.
Yeah, and you will be better for it, and it's not like they are standoffish.
No, not at all. Some of the nicest guys we've met.
Yeah, and musically they're not standoffish.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's not hard to get on the Fig train to carry out the metaphor. It's not it's not exclusive and it's not exclusionary.
No,
but the train's going to keep running. They keep on keeping on.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So, Shady Grove, we hope will be coming out soon. Once they do their crowdfunding thing for it, they're going to get it pressed, and they say they're going to be touring some more. So keep your eye open for the Figs.
Yeah, don't give it up an opportunity to see them.
No, not
once,
at all.
Twice, 3 times, as many times as you can. Yeah,
Twice.
and bring rice.
Yes. So check them out. They say they will tour some more. They're an amazing band.
And they've got solo albums too. And
Yes, Mike and Pete have solo records.
When you were talking about egalitarian, they folded in solo songs as well. So it wasn't like, well, that's really his thing.
I know. They all fit.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, who do you think you could hear covering this?
Boy. Maybe Brinsley Schwartz, because we'll test out the pub rock bona fides, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I was going to say the Rumor,
right? Yeah, I think we got the same idea.
Solo records, so,
right?
So yeah, definitely we both hear the kind of the same thing there, and
or maybe even Stones, right?
Yeah,
The Stones.
I mean that would be the thing. There's a couple of songs.
Not
that the
Stones today.
do.
Stones, early '70s Stones.
Right. The sucking in stereo era songs.
Right.
Do you have a recommendation for today?
Recommendation for today? Do you have one?
Well,
that's what we say when we're trying to think.
If I stick with when we went to see the one of the venues when we went to see the Figs in was called a guitar shop called Heyday Guitars in Winston-Salem. And we met
a candy shop.
Yeah, we met the owner, Michael Slaughter, a very nice man, and
beautiful guitars.
Great shop. He kind of specializes in mid-priced and lower-priced guitars that are really cool and weird. A lot of weird Japanese and Korean guitars. So you don't go in there and everything's like $3,000 like in most vintage shops.
I can't believe we didn't walk out with guitars.
I know. I was lusting, but I held it together. He's a great guy. He's got a great store. He used to work for Sam Moss, who is kind of a legendary guitar shop owner in Winston. Peter Holsapple wrote a song about Sam Moss. And it was just a nice place, good vibe.
Yeah.
He's really into music. He's really into the Dolls and Johnny Thunders. And we talked about that stuff. And he really loves the Figs. If you're in Winston-Salem, you should go see him. He's a great guy. Now, my friend Fitz told me that Michael Slaughter actually arranged that record that is a cover record of Let's Active songs called
nice.
Every Word Means No. So he's pretty active in the music scene.
Right, and it's clear they celebrate their Winston-Salemness because, as we were leaving, they put on the DBs, right?
Yeah, so we're like, of
Winston for Winston.
By Winston.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice experience. Plus the show was just amazing.
Yeah, so that's a good recommendation. And you said earlier about the Adirondack chair. My reason that I don't recommend an Adirondack chair is that, it's nice setting, but not so good getting up at a certain age. But yes. my real recommendation is to revisit your old favorites.
Right.
Or even things that boats that you may have missed. And some of this, we recently recorded about a Supergrass album from
Right.
2002, right? It's never too late
No.
to
Appreciate
to
something that
appreciate
you
it.
might have missed. And
And-
there was a big section of the Figs that I have missed,
Right.
and I'm going back and checking it out now,
There's no reason that you can't just say that ship has sailed.
Right.
We are in a time where there's an awful lot of media, an awful lot of choices. It's hard to keep up, but think
That's
about
why we're
what
here to tell you what the good stuff is.
to help guide you to things that we like and we think
Right.
you will like. But there's so many bands that you may have once loved that are doing really interesting things still.
And maybe better things even.
Yeah, and that have grown. You've grown. They maybe have grown as
Yes.
well, and it's not just a nostalgia act or
a hits.
right.
Okay, well, there we go. That was an easy one. The Figs, we love them. Grab Your Pack is a great single. I'm expecting 3 records of just ultra cool stuff coming out from what we heard, the tracks we heard on Shady Grove. Look for that. You can crowdfund it. They may still be going on, it may not be going on. Well, who can tell? Just check them out.
Yeah, even if it's over, you can buy the triple album.
Exactly.
You will want to have it.
Exactly. So that's been our podcast today. Singles Going Steady number 064, The Figs, Grab Your Pack. We love them. They're great. And we will talk to you again very soon.
Right. Stay out of that Adirondack chair. To learn more about the artists and recordings we just talked about, visit our website at zubrecords.com and click on the Singles Going Steady icon.
You'll also find links to the persons, places, and things we recommend, and much more.
You can find episodes of Singles Going Steady on our website or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Singles Going Steady is brought to you by the power and majesty of Zub Records.
Zub Records. Smart sounds for sharp people.